Well, now we're going to start building the body of the caterpillar. So start with where we got up to with the caterpillar model, the head that we got up to. What we're going to do is we're going to actually create a body for the caterpillar from segments. So if we go to the last layer, click on the last layer button, where we left the mirrored object that we started with, Shift D to duplicate it, then press the M key again, the M key to move it to the first layer where our caterpillar's head is. Just use the translate widget to drag it into position roughly sort of somewhere low and to the rear of where the caterpillar's head is, because what we're going to do is use mirror modeling again to just begin building this caterpillar in, as I say, in different sections. Now at the moment the eyes are parented to the head, so if we do Alt P, not Alt J, Alt P, clear parent and keep transformation, as it says on the pop-up. Now we've kept the eyes in the same place, but they're no longer parented to the head. So, because what we want to do in the end, we want to be able to have them moving, rotating independently of each other, but still following the armature which we'll build later. So for the moment we just delete one eye and move the other one by pressing M and moving it to the last layer. Similar way that we did with the mirrored object that we're using at the moment, basically so we can store it and use it later. Now the material for the skin material, if we click on the if we actually click on the head and look at the material, it's just called material. We change it to a name of skin, makes it easier to see. And now if we choose the first body segment that we're going to make, and we then from the drop down list we can choose skin, and then we've assigned that same material to the body segment, because if we don't do it now we might forget, and then it makes it easier to see how it's going to look as you go along if you render, if it's actually got the correct colour that you're going to use on it from the start. Okay, now it's going to be a question of I'm going to extend the neck of the head so that it then curves around, and we want it to fit snugly into the first segment. My idea with this is that the segments will almost look like they're meant to join together, rather than just having them butting against each other. There's going to be like an indentation in the body segment where the head will join into. You may have another idea. Feel free to do what you think is going to look best. So just to extend, extrude, E to extrude and rotate, and bring this, begin to bring this into the rough position that it's going to be in relation to the first body segment. Use the rotate widget and the translate widget to move those faces so that it starts to join up. It's not quite lined up yet centrally, we won't worry about that for the moment, we'll sort that out in a little while. And control and up arrow to get back to from our maximise viewport. We're going to put on the editing cage option that we did before, because it does make it easier to see how the edit is affecting the underlying mesh, as you see here. Control up arrow again to maximise the view, and you can see that body segment, as well as being the wrong shape at the moment, it's not very central. So let's do something about aligning that before we go any further. I'm going to go to a front view so that it aligns better. Go straight onto a front view. We can then see how well we've got it centralised. And as we begin modelling, you'll be able to move things around anyway, the segments around. Control up arrow again, getting near the stage where we're going to start modelling this segment. So similar to what we did when we started doing the head, remember it's in mirror modelling, so we drag one side in, both sides come together just to get the size roughly right. Now we're going to make this indentation I was talking about, so do E to extrude, and straight away you're going to see there's a problem. What have I forgotten? I've forgotten to check the setting of the clip. So U to undo, enable do clipping, because we just want a single indentation in that mirrored. It's almost like a piece of plasticine that we're using, a piece of virtual plasticine almost. E to extrude, escape immediately, then S to scale in. Let's play around with this and see how it's looking. I've got that a bit too large, so I've got to undo that section, try scaling it again, drag it in, because when you do the extrude you can then grab the face and pull it in whichever direction you like. That's still too large in actual fact. Let's move it a bit more centrally, because you can see, like I was saying, once you start modelling you can see how things are aligned. I think that needs to be a bit smaller, so we haven't changed to another object, so when we go to tab into edit mode we can still do U to undo, and I'm going to scale that down a bit further. What I think I'll do is drag it slightly away from the next so that we can see the shape better. That's the great thing. I do find a lot of Blender modelers I know don't use the widgets for moving things around, but I just find it convenient. I mean, that's what the programmers put it there for. And certainly when you're learning, it makes it easier for moving things around in 3D space. You can grab, start moving, and use the middle mouse button to constrain the movement. And I think when people get used to doing that, they can do it probably faster than we can use the widgets. But it's a personal taste, a personal choice thing. I think that's looking better. It looks like it's properly embedded. It's got a little note sort of embedded in the neck. Now, because it's going to be these are going to be almost like modules, the caterpillar's segments, because I don't know how many we're going to use yet, depends how it looks. So we're going to make each module kind of fit into another, to each other. You'll see what I mean. So E to extrude on the back end here, S